Fans of all ages, good evening and welcome to Merrimack High School for tonight's Division I football matchup between the visiting Bulldogs of Bedford High and your Tomahawks. Tonight's game is being played according to the rules set forth by the NHIAA and its member schools. We ask that you, our fans, help to make tonight's game a memorable experience for our athletes by showing good sportsmanship towards all players, coaches, and game officials throughout the game. Inappropriate language, taunts, or other demeaning actions are grounds for removal from this game. As a reminder, no fans are permitted on the playing field or track at any time. In the event of an emergency, we ask that you please vacate the premises by the nearest exit located at each end of the stadium. Replays of tonight's game will run all week on Merrimack TV, Channel 8, and can also be found on the Merrimack TV app available on Apple, iPhone, and Android devices. The officials for tonight's game are referee John Justice Kolka, umpire Brian Snow, head linesman Mark Cookson, line judge Greg Surrett, and back judge Garen Murphy. Our hearts and prayers go out this evening for the victims of the mass shooting that took place on Wednesday evening in Lewiston, Maine. Please pause for a moment of silence before we play our national anthem. Thank you. Would everyone please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem, performed today by the Merrimack High School Marching Band under the direction of Brendan McWalter.
The lights are shining bright here on Friday night as the Tomahawks of Merrimack get ready to host the Bulldogs of Bedford in the final week of the regular season. Hello everyone, my name is Robert DeFelice alongside Justin Slez. Thank you for joining us here on Merrimack TV. It is a do-or-die situation for the Tomahawks as they are faced with a win-and-in situation for the playoffs. They must win this game or else their season concludes tonight. For the Bulldogs, they already have well commanded their first seed in the playoffs as they are one of 3 remaining undefeated teams left in the state. A tall task to undertake for the Tomahawks tonight, but a matchup they are certainly willing to take. Justin, any thoughts going into this one?
I would say, Yeah, I would say it's going to be a really exciting game tonight. I know there's been, I can think of one game comes to mind last year. There might be a sore subject that I believe Bedford came in undefeated and the Tomahawks ended up taking them down. As far as the game tonight, I can see that Bedford has been outscoring their opponents 328 to 27 this season. So the Tomahawks are going to have a pretty tough hill to climb, but I think they're up to the task. I think they've shown that throughout the season, and I look forward to a great game tonight.
Certainly going to be an excellent game between these two teams. The Tomahawks seem to have a trend where they seem to match the level of the teams they are playing against. Last week against Portsmouth, another undefeated team in the state, they brought to within one score, but unfortunately were not able to get the job done. But a game against a team like South, who has only won one game this season against Merrimack. Merrimack was controlled almost the entire game, though the score reflects a 1-point loss to South. So Merrimack seems to maintain that level of their opponents, and with Bedford being at such a high level as they are, you would expect something similar tonight. The Tomahawks have won the coin toss and have elected to defer to the second half. Kicking off for Bedford is number 23, Dylan Soden.
Soden to kick off for the Bulldogs. Gendron and DP Trantonio back to receive for the Tomahawks.
And the game is underway as Soden's kick is up and deep. Fielded by the Tomahawks at about the 10. Not able to find much room, though,
DP Trantonio on the
as
return.
DP Trantonio is brought down at about the 20-yard line.
Got a long field to start here, but let's see what they can
Return of about
wind
8
up on the
yards.
playbook here.
Majower leading this offense out onto the field. This is an offense that has had very different levels throughout the
Tomahawks will
season.
start
They've
from
had
their
some games
24-yard
where
line.
they're playing at an excellent level, very high scoring, and others where not so much. Excuse me, it looks as though I am incorrect, and it is Garen Brown at quarterback for the Tomahawks currently. And it is a Wildcat as Garen Brown keeps it for the carry. Able to bring the ball up to the 30-yard line.
Churning those legs for a few extra yards. I thought
Brown
he
on the
was going
keeper.
down right away. Good effort there by Garen Brown.
And those are those powerhouse legs of Garen Brown that makes him so lethal as a running back. Brown staying at quarterback. Brown keeps it again up the middle. Not able to find much room. Pick up about a yard.
Brown on the quarterback keeper. Picks up about 4 on the play. Met by a sea of white defenders.
Going to bring up a third and short for the Tomahawks. This is a bit of a different look offense we see here for the Tomahawks. We have Garen Brown at quarterback, Jack Thornton at the halfback position. Brown keeps it once again. 3 plays and 3 carries for Brown. Gonna have to wait to see the spot. The refs are signaling a first down.
Picks up 1.5 yards. Good enough for a Tomahawk.
And now we see Majower coming onto the field. Tomahawks trying to catch the Bulldogs off guard a little bit, starting the game off in that Wildcat set. But the Bulldogs defense so far standing pretty tall, only giving up 10 yards.
I have a feeling this is what this game's going to be looking like, Rob. It's going to be having to churn out those tough yards to keep Bedford on their toes.
Majower drops back to pass. Under pressure, able to get it away, but just out of the reach of Joss Ozog. That was Spencer Richin on the pressure.
2nd and 10 Tomahawks.
In speaking with Coach Jackson earlier this week, he did mention that he does not feel that they can outscore the Bulldogs in a back-to-back matchup. He said he wants to keep the game low and keep it very, very close. And that starts with slow, long drives for the Tomahawks, inching their way up the field. Majower with the snap. Bobbles it a little bit, but is able to roll out.
Ooh, close one.
Had an open receiver, but it was tipped up, nearly intercepted by Jack Rizzo.
By Rizzo. Bring up 3rd and 10, Tomahawks.
Pass intended for number 11, Connor Dunn. And now the Tomahawks are facing a 3rd and long situation from their own 34-yard line. Majower drops back, looking to his left side.
Oh, man.
Able to find Centrella, who was there in first down territory, but Centrella just couldn't bring it in.
Intended for Centrella. Ball's incomplete. 4th down, Tomahawks.
That is going to bring up a 4th and 10 for the Tomahawks. And for the Tomahawks, that's not what you want to see early in this game. Quick first down, but then now in their punt format, just a couple minutes into this game, and opening up the door for the Bulldogs offense. Schmidt's punt is up and gone. It is on the ground.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like the Tomahawks are going to pick it up. We weren't able to get a full look at it, but my guess would be that it was a muffed punt by the Bulldogs, and the Tomahawks able to capitalize very early on in this game.
First down, Tomahawks. Ball spotted on the Bulldogs' 19-yard line.
Now the Tomahawks keep their offense on the field within the red zone. A huge break early on in this one for Merrimack. Trips out to the right side. Majower takes the snap, keeps it himself off the right side. Able to pick up a couple of yards before getting swallowed up by a group of Bulldogs.
Majower on the quarterback keeper, brought down by Soden. Gain of 5 on the play.
Going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Tomahawks. Brown on the right side. Handoff goes to him, and he is met in the backfield by Jake Ben.
Brown on the carry. Loss of a yard on the play.
Going to be a loss of a yard.
Bring up 3rd and 6, Tomahawks. Ball on the Bulldog 20-yard line. 15, excuse me.
Bulldogs defense very big up front on their D-line. Was a key point for the Tomahawks, trying to get the run game going early, but the Bulldogs defensive line is able to get that penetration and prevent any big plays, especially with someone like Brown, who's able to break away plays like that. Brown and Wildcat again picks the snap up off the ground, and the Bulldogs defense once again able to get in the backfields.
Brown on the keeper.
Couple in on the tackle for Bedford. We see 23 Dylan Soden, as well as 54 Spencer Henrichen.
4th and 7, Tomahawks.
And now, after a huge opportunity, the Tomahawks are facing a 4th and 7. Twins on each side for the Tomahawks. Thornton in the backfield. Majower with the snap, looking to pass. Feeling the pressure early. Puts the ball on the ground. But the Tomahawks are able to jump on it and recover. It is still a turnover on downs,
Majower
however.
loses the ball, recovered by Smith.
That was Colby
Turnover
Smith
on
who jumped on that fumble.
Bulldogs will start from their 22-yard line.
And another defensive stand by the Bulldogs. Huge miscue early, getting the Tomahawks within the red zone, but they stand tall and don't let the Tomahawks come up with anything from it. as Danny Black now leads the Bulldogs offense on the field. Next to him is Brody Helton. Helton being the state's leading rusher, over 1,000 rushing yards so far this season.
Wow.
And that handoff is to the tight end, Kevin Sheridan, who is able to find a lot of space. One man to beat. That is Day up the sideline, who's going to be able to knock him out of bounds. Huge first play for the Bulldogs.
Sheridan on the carry. Brought down by
Day
Day.
potentially saving the touchdown. It's going to be a huge, huge pickup.
First and 10 Bulldogs from the Tomahawk 19-yard line.
And now the field is flipped as the Bulldogs are within the red zone in just one play. First and 10 from the Tomahawks 20-yard line. Black with the snap. Hands it off to Helton. Tomahawks able to bring him down
Helton
after a pickup of 4.
Gain of about 3 on that play. Bring up second and
Jack
7
Thornton
for the Bulldogs.
and Nicholas Franqui in on the tackles.
Ball on the Tomahawk 16.
Two in the backfield for the Bulldogs. Black with the snap. Hands it off to Helton once again up the middle. Able to pick up about 3 yards.
Helton, the ball carrier. Gain of 3 on that play.
Gonna bring up about a third and
Bulldogs.
4 for the Bulldogs.
Ball on the Tomahawk 13.
Or 3rd and 3, excuse me.
See if the Tomahawks can stand tall here.
Black with the snap, looking to pass out to the right side, able to find a wide open man.
Black's pass.
And that is
complete
Luke
to
Soden on the touchdown. Take another look at that here. You see Black looking off to the right side. Soden able to get some separation from Day, secure the catch, and get in the end zone as the Bulldogs are the first to strike in this game.
Touchdown, Bulldogs.
One
Soden on
huge
to
play
attempt
for
the
the
extra point.
Bulldogs by Sheridan sets up a pretty quick touchdown drive. Black with the hold. Dylan Soden with the kick, and it
And
is
the kick
up
is
and
good.
through as the Bulldogs take a 7-0 lead over the Tomahawks with about 6 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Now, if you're the Tomahawks here, an answer is certainly crucial. The Bulldogs are not a team you want to have to play behind against.
For the kickoff here, I just want to say thank you for watching tonight's game in Merrimack on Comcast Channel 8, HD Channel 1072, online at merrimacktv.com, and also on the Merrimack TV app. You can get that anywhere. You can get apps, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Android phones, Apple phones, iOS, and the rest. You could also be watching this live on Bedford TV, and I believe they may be streaming it on Facebook as well. So thank you to our friends over at Bedford TV, Andrew Fenn, Colleen Richardson, and of course Bill Jennings.
The kick is up and fielded around the 10-yard line, brought out to the 19-yard line, where the Tomahawks will take over and start their second drive.
Gendron on the return. Brought down by Westcott and company.
Didn't see a whole lot from the Tomahawks in their first drive. A
Return
couple
of
of
about
run plays,
17
put the ball in the
yards.
air a couple times, but nothing able
Tomahawks
to
will start
connect
from their
just yet.
20.
Few opportunities, few miscues here and there. We'll see if the Tomahawks are able to get the ball moving more on this second drive. Three out to the right side for the Tomahawks. Looking to catch the Bulldogs off guard with that hard count, but they are unable to do so. That defensive front is very disciplined for Bedford. Majower dropping back to pass, feeling the pressure early once again, rolls out to his left side and decides to just hang on to it. Gets knocked out of bounds by Jake Ben.
Quarterback keeper. Pushed out of bounds by Rizzo. Gain of 5 on the play.
Gonna pick up about 5 there. Gonna bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Tomahawks. It's important to note here that Garen Brown is currently not on the field for the Tomahawks. Not sure if they're just trying to give him a breather here. Snap is on the ground. DiPetratonio able to pick it up, but the snap was low and got past Majower. Going to be the loss of a couple yards for the Tomahawks.
If you're going to have a chance at beating Bedford tonight, you're going to have to stay sharp and keep those plays clean.
Absolutely, and that is something Coach Jackson emphasized a lot during our phone call earlier this week. You mentioned how crucial it is to play as clean and disciplined as they possibly can. Going to be a 3rd and long for the Tomahawks here after that loss. Majower dropping back to snap. Feels the pressure early once again. Ball is on the ground. Not sure if they're ruling it an incomplete pass or a fumble. Looks like they are going to say it is a fumble. And Majower is down. Not a good sign for the Tomahawks early on in this game.
So I just want to stand corrected here, Rob. We are actually watching as well with Bedford Community Television, and they are, in fact, not streaming on Facebook tonight. But if you want to go to our Facebook page at Merrimack TV, you can check out our most recent post about this game. It's from a couple days ago. You can leave us a comment. We'd love to give you a shout-out. Whether you're a Merrimack Tomahawks fan or a Bedford Bulldogs fan, let us know where you're watching from, how you're watching, maybe what you're snacking on. Love to give you a shout-out over at the Merrimack TV Facebook page.
Another muff punt by the Bulldogs. But this time they are able to jump on it. Punt came down on an unsuspecting Bulldog. And as most of you saw, Majower was able to get up and walk off the field on his own accord. Looks like it's a bit of a shoulder or arm injury. Hopefully nothing too serious. But he does have this defensive possession to get some rest and get checked out by the trainers. And the Bulldogs are going to take over on their own 44-yard line.
Rob, I just actually wanted to let you know that number 57 on the Bulldogs, Jake Sheff's Grammy, is in the stands tonight. She is happy Merrimack TV is covering the game for those who can't make it and for those who live far away. So thank you, Jake Sheff's Grammy. Happy to have you down at the Student Memorial Field.
The handoff is to Helton, who is going to be swallowed up by a group of Tomahawks.
Helton, the ball
Maybe
carrier,
a gain of about half a yard.
Blue jerseys. No gain on the play.
Perhaps the best part of this defense of the Tomahawks is their ability to stop the run. Just 3 weeks ago, the Tomahawks faced off against Wyndham, who has Tiger on, the second leading rusher in the state, behind only Helton. And the Tomahawks able to hold Tiger on to his lowest game of the season. And so being able to contain those powerful runners is such a huge impact for this defense. And so far, nothing huge for Helton. It is still early, but nothing huge just yet. Black's pass intended for number 8,
Black's
Dominic
pass intended for Tagliaferro.
Tagliaferro, goes through his
Third
hands.
down, Bulldogs.
And it hits the ground, going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for Bedford. Tagliaferro looking a little frustrated as he comes off the field.
Huge 3rd down here. I know it's early in the game, but it feels like a huge 3rd down to me.
Well, when you're facing a team like Bedford, any 3rd down is certainly a huge 3rd down. Any opportunity to get their offense on the field, off the field, is a huge opportunity. Rizzo in motion. Handoff is to Helton. There is a flag on the ground.
Helton on the carry.
Maybe have a peek at that one more time. Might have been a hold down at the bottom of the screen here.
It definitely is a hold. Looks like it was Jack Thornton being held. Going to bring this run back. Waiting for the official call. It is a hold against Bedford. Merrimack will take the penalty. Push them back 10 yards and replay 3rd down. If the Tomahawks had declined that penalty, it would have been a 4th down as Helton went out around the 50-yard line. Tomahawks maybe expecting the Bulldogs to go for it in that 4th and short situation, so going to make them do a 3rd and long instead.
And Rob, I'm just going to keep trickling this information in here, and as I get it, I should have already mentioned this. We also probably have people listening on 105.1 FM, Bedford's low-power FM radio station. So thank you to you listening out on 105.1.
Empty backfield for the Bulldogs. Black's pass is up and complete to the big tight end Sheridan. Take another look at that one.
Black's pass complete to Sheridan.
A quick catch and release on the seam to Sheridan, able to get enough yards to pick up that first. Sheridan, certainly a big tight end, able to use his height and reach advantage to come down with that one. Got to bring up a 1st down for the Bulldogs from the Tomahawks 41-yard line.
On the Tomahawk 41.
Sheridan really been a difference maker so far in this game for the Bulldogs. A huge run on their first play of the game, and now that huge catch on a 3rd and long. Black hands off to Helton. Helton met at the line. Tackle made there.
Helton, the ball carrier.
By Colby Smith.
Brought down by Smith. Loss of a yard on the play.
Going to be a 2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs. Sheridan in tight on the right side for the Bulldogs. Helton off to Black's left side. Black with the snap. Fakes the handoff to Helton and throws it out to Sheridan, who once again is able to show off that breakaway speed, and he will not be caught.
Black's pass complete
as he
Sheridan.
takes it 40 yards for the
Bulldogs.
touchdown. Just a quick little screenplay off to the left side. Able to find some room. And once again, Sheridan really being the big player of this game, of this first quarter for the Bulldogs.
Soden on for the point after attempt.
Extra point here for the Bulldogs. Black to hold. And it is up, and it is good with plenty of room to spare. Bulldogs take a 14-0 lead over the Tomahawks with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
You know what, Rob? I want to have a look at that one again.
Certainly. Sheridan able to catch that screen pass. Again, it wasn't much trickery or anything like that from the Bulldogs. Just a nice little screen, wide open space that Sheridan is able to take advantage of and take it all the way home.
Receive for the Tomahawks. Soden will kick off for the Bulldogs.
Tomahawks in desperate need of an answer here offensively. Still early on in this one, but the more and more you get behind against Bedford, the more difficult it is to make a comeback. Soden back to kick. DiPetratonio back deep for the Tomahawks. It is fielded at the 5-yard line.
Just running into a wall.
Gendron on the return.
Those Bedford Bulldogs. Very stout defense there.
Gendron able to bring it out to about the 19-yard line where the Tomahawks will start their third drive. And as Justin had mentioned, all aspects of the Bulldogs game is so elite. They are able to get it done on offense, on defense, and even on special teams, leaving little room for opportunity. Bajauer back on the field for the Tomahawks. Happy to see that the injury was not going to take him out of the game. Bajauer with the snap, throws it out to his right side to Centrella. Able to pick up 5 yards before he goes out of bounds on his own accord.
Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5 Tomahawks.
Still no Garen Brown on the field for the Tomahawks.
We certainly hope he's doing okay. He's been a huge part of this offense all year long.
Certainly low snap once again. Handoff to DiPetratonio, who is hit hard in the backfield. Not able to pick up much. In fact, he loses 2 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Tomahawks.
Ben on the tackle. Loss of 2 on the play. 3rd and 7 Tomahawks.
Twin set for the Tomahawks. Going with that hard count once again, looking to get some free yards. Bajauer with the snap, looking off to his left side, but the pass is batted down at the line. That was Sheridan able to get up high and swat that pass down.
Ozog, batted down. Bring up 4th down for the Tomahawks.
Sheridan standing at 6'4", able to use his height. Once again, a quick stall on offense for the Tomahawks. Ready to punt it away back to Bedford with just over a minute left to go here in the first quarter. The punt is caught, and we will see a small return here from Dominic Tagliaferro before being brought down by Brady Krieger.
Tagliaferro on the return.
Going to be a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 48-yard line.
Was able to pick up about 15 yards on that play. Bulldogs will start from their 48-yard line.
And we have a timeout here by the Tomahawks. Coach Jackson looking to talk things over with his squad a little bit more before the Bulldogs drive gets underway.
1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Through awareness, education,
Coach Jackson certainly has a long-standing history with the Bulldogs in his tenure as the Tomahawks head coach. All time, he is 1 and 4 against Bedford, and that includes the regular season and playoffs. However, this is the first time
Purchase
and
wear
Coach
Pink
Jackson's
with
tenure
Lowe's
that
through
he is meeting the
October,
Bulldogs
with proceeds
in
going to support
Merrimack.
cancer research.
All 5 of their previous
Together,
matchups
we
happened
can
at
make a
Bedford's
difference
field.
in defeating cancer.
Taking a look at the cheerleaders here, sporting their Halloween costumes, as Halloween is this Tuesday. Looks like they even have a couple of extra friends with them joining in on the fun. You love to see it. Black with the handoff. And that is to Jack Rizzo. Able to pick up 7.
Rizzo, the ball carrier, brought down by Ozog and company.
Going to be a 2nd and short for the Bulldogs. Now, this is certainly an explosive Bulldogs offense so far this season. They average 41 points per game.
8 on the play.
A very staggering amount of points that they score.
That is certainly staggering, I would say. That's a great word to describe it. And you can see why. Very, very tough offense, very tough defense.
Helton with the carry off to the left side. And that is Sadia on the tackle.
On the carry, brought down by Sadia.
Helton gonna lose a yard. And
Loss
as
of a
we've
yard
seen
on that
too,
play.
the Bulldogs offense isn't one-dimensional.
3rd
Helton,
and
obviously
3
the
Bulldogs.
staple piece of their offense, being the leading rusher in the state, but as the
at the
Bulldogs
end
have
of the
been able
first
to
quarter,
contain him
Bulldogs
to
14,
under 15
Tomahawks
yards so
0.
far this game, they're able to turn to other aspects of their offense, such as Sheridan, who has come up with so many huge plays for the Bulldogs so far in this game. Another timeout here.
Thank you all for watching. We'd love to give you a shout out tonight. You can visit Merrimack TV on Facebook and comment on our most recent post about tonight's game. Let us know where you're watching, how you're watching, who you're cheering for. We'd love to give you a shout out. We got Jessica Reith Brown says, hoping to get a big W again. A little blue heart emoji and a football. Thinking the blue heart emoji is an indicator that she is a Tomahawks fan. We'd love to give some Bulldogs fans a shout out as well. Just visit that Merrimack TV Facebook page. Leave us a comment. We'll shout you out.
We did just get a quick look at the bench as well, and we did see Garen Brown sitting on the bench with his helmet off. Not a good sign if you're the Tomahawks. We certainly hope it's nothing serious. You never want to see injuries for players, especially this late in the season, Brown being a senior.
That really doesn't seem like very good news to me, Rob. That's just such an important piece of this offense. And how do you change game plans around that kind of on the fly?
Certainly a difficult task. Coach Jackson describes him as everything starts and ends offensively with Garen Brown. So without that, it'll be quite difficult for the Tomahawks to get something moving offensively. Third and 3 for the Bulldogs. Black decides to keep it himself, getting chased down in the backfield by Jack Thornton, unable to chase him down. But Day is able to make the tackle. Wait and see the spot here. Looks like it's going to be a 4th and inches. Might be just...
moving it up a little bit.
Spot.
And they'll move the chains by the looks of it.
Spot goes in favor of the Bulldogs, and it will be a first down.
Black able to pick up enough yards for a Bulldog first down.
Rob, we got Maureen Mooney on the Facebook. She's here. She says, here in the stands,
41.
watching the game in person on the perfect autumn evening. Let's go, Tomahawks. Maureen Mooney, of course, a Merrimack TV and Tomahawk superfan. Thank you, Maureen.
Certainly beautiful weather here in Merrimack tonight, and the leaves look as beautiful as they ever do.
And probably the nicest weather for a game this year for Tomahawks football anyway.
Certainly, especially with all the rainy games they've had. Brown hands it off to Bennett Matthews, who's able to pick up a handful of yards, but we do have a late flag here. Officials discussing things. Going to be a personal foul against the Bulldogs.
And we have a personal foul penalty assessed
Going to
against
back them up
Bedford.
15 yards from the previous spot. Excuse me, from the end of the play. Not exactly sure what happened. But perhaps a stroke of fortune for the Tomahawks.
Let's see if I can pull this up here real quick. Unless they're going to come to the line. Yep. We'll have a peek at that in just a second for anyone that's curious. I'm not sure if we'll be able to nail down what happened, but...
Going to be about a 2nd and 19 for the Bulldogs. And Helton takes the snap himself. Not sure if he was intended to do so.
Oh, no.
And there is the impact that you can see from Helton.
Wow.
As he takes it all the way down for the Bulldogs touchdown.
Bulldogs.
Take a look at the oh, we didn't get the replay back far enough, but we see Helton breaking all the way down the field for the touchdown.
I'll try and back it up a little bit here in just a sec.
And we have a flag at midfield.
Another flag down. This one might be coming back. Sadia with his helmet off. Camera obviously following the play, so we were unable to see what potentially happened at the line, but it does go against the Bulldogs. It's going to negate that touchdown and back them up another 15 yards.
Just get a peek at that one more time.
Snap goes directly to Helton. Looks like it was just a little high, and with Helton already in his progressions, he decides to just take it himself. Tomahawks getting lucky. 2 back-to-back personal fouls.
And I didn't see where you would put the flag on that play exactly, so...
Well, with Sadia's helmet being off, my guess would be something happened at the line of scrimmage. We see Coach Zach Matthews trying to get a little bit of an explanation from the official. Obviously unhappy with the touchdown being called back. Coach Matthews in his 5th season as the head coach of the Bulldogs, able to tout a 33-11 record in a state championship during his tenure. That championship coming last year. Prior to being with Bedford, Coach Matthews was the head coach over at Kearsarge. He was there for 8 years.
As the ref's talking it over, we have, you won't even believe this, Rob, Carolyn Masty Masterson on the Facebook page here. She says, "Let's go Tomahawks." And just as a little tease, we do have a little clip that she sent us that we might be checking out here pretty soon. The Merrimack Tomahawk faithful might remember hearing about the Masty accounting dance, so maybe we'll get a peek at that fairly soon.
Excuse you, Justin, the infamous
Yes, of
accounting
course.
dance.
Excuse me.
And it looks like the officials have come to a conclusion. No signal yet. Coach Matthews still not thrilled with the decision.
Second and 34 for the Bulldogs.
As you heard our PA announcer, it is a 2nd and 34 for the Bulldogs after 2 back-to-back 15-yard penalties. Black drops back to pass. It is a tunnel screen out to Luke Soden. Able to bite off a good
Black
chunk of
pass
those yards
complete to
back.
Soden.
Gonna bring it up to about the 48-yard line.
Brought down by Stevens.
Stevens on the tackle for the Tomahawks.
Gain of 13 on that play. 3rd down, Bulldogs.
Seeing a little bit of a disagreeing going on the Bulldogs sideline. Not exactly sure what's going on. Empty backfield for the Bulldogs. Black dropping back to pass. It is up.
Wow.
And out of the hands
Black's pass is in
of
for
Dominic
Tagliaferro.
Tagliaferro.
Incomplete.
Take another look here. Beautiful pass by Black. Hits Tagliaferro right in the hands. Well defended there by Centrella.
Fourth down, Bulldogs.
Tagliaferro is just unable to reel it in, and that is going to bring up a 4th and long for the Bulldogs. Tomahawks, with the assistance of 30 yards worth of penalties, able to put a stop to the Bulldogs' offensive momentum.
Day back to receive for the Tomahawks.
Punt team is on the field for the Tomahawks. Coach Jackson jumping up and down, calling for the timeout.
All right, I think
Tomahawks.
now's as good a time as any. Let's see if we can get a little Masty magic going on here. Let's see what she's got for us.
Debits on the left and credits on the right. And if they equal, you can sleep tonight.
Infamous account. Have you seen that in person, Rob?
I most certainly have. I've taken 3 years worth of accounting with Miss Caroline Masterson, or as we all call her, Masty. And I would say at least once a week we had a performance by her of her infamous accounting dance. But I tell you what, I will never forget that your debits and your credits must equal.
Wow. Certainly a saying you can take to the bank, Rob.
Most certainly is. And we have a look here of the Tomahawks band providing some music and entertainment for this game. Always love the energy that the band brings to the atmosphere of the game. And now we have the punt by the Bulldogs. A couple of Tomahawks back there nearly blocked it. Day is there to receive the punt, but he is not going to try to make a return as the ball rolls out to the 11-yard line. Tomahawks will take over from their own 11-yard line. 10 minutes to go here in the first half, with the Tomahawks trailing by 14.
You know, Rob, Nick and I, we ran some cables and we actually set up a microphone over by the band tonight, so you're getting a little bit more of a crisp sound from that Merrimack band. Of course, Brendan McWalter, the band director, and RJ Beck out there assisting with that.
I also have a correction. My apologies. A couple of the carries so far in this game for the Tomahawks have been handled by number 23, Anthony Almonte. And Majower's pass is intercepted. And a quick run back. Wow, take another look at that here. Majower drops back, facing a ton of pressure, just trying to throw it away and avoid the sack. But it is intercepted by Luke Soden, who's able to return it for the Bulldogs touchdown. And again, if you're the Tomahawks, you can't be having those mistakes. You have a huge stop defensively to get their offense off the field. And then the Bulldogs defense comes in and is able to get the score.
And the pass was just kind of, it looked like it was just kind of floating. So easy pickings there for the Bedford Bulldogs, unfortunately, for the Tomahawks.
Absolutely. Soden just walking it in. Black on the hold, Soden on the kick. It is up and through as the Bulldogs take a 21-0 lead after the pick six on the first play of the Tomahawks drive. That was 13 Soden. Certainly a difficult hole that the Tomahawks are here so far in the first half, trailing 21-0. Not impossible to come back, however, but they will need to get things going offensively if they'd like to have a chance.
Soden will kick off for the Bulldogs.
Garen Brown no longer on the bench for the Tomahawks, but I also do not see him on the sidelines so far. So his status is still unknown as to whether or not he'll be returning in this game. I did just catch a peek of him on the sideline with his helmet off, excuse me. Deep, deep kick by Soden into the end zone. Day will not be returning it. It's going to be a touchback. And as I was saying prior to the interception, that was actually number 23, Anthony Almonte, who has been taking a lot of the halfback duties given Garen Brown's absence. Anthony Almonte, who missed quite a few games early on in the season due to injury, back in the lineup for the Tomahawks, and what a time to be back with Garen Brown absent with his injury. Tight trips to the right side for the Tomahawks. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Just under 10 minutes left to go in this half. Majower with the snap. It's a quick screen out to Almonte, who's able to break a couple tackles for being brought down at the 24-yard line.
Majower's pass complete to Almonte.
That was Grudinskas on the tackle.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6 Tomahawks.
Almonte with some shifty moves there for the Tomahawks.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to catch him on the dance floor, that's for sure.
Twin set for the Tomahawks. Majower again looking at that hard count, but the Bulldogs stay disciplined. Coach Jordan Miranda signaling in, and Coach Bunis, co-offensive coordinators, signaling in the adjustment. High snap fielded by Majower, hands it off to Almonte, who is tackled in the backfield
Almonte on the
by
carry.
Jake Sheff.
Brought down by Shelf.
Certainly seeing a bit of chippiness in this game so far. Both these teams have a long-standing
Loss of the
history.
yard.
Would certainly
Third
classify
and
this
7
as a
Tomahawks.
rivalry game for both teams.
Oh, definitely.
Be a 3rd and 6 for the Tomahawks. And this rivalry extends past football, not just here, also in baseball, basketball, lacrosse, all sports really. With the towns sharing borders, you see that bitter rivalry.
Sure, both coaches hoping the chippiness stays to a minimum.
Jower snap is out of bounds and uncatchable. And you're absolutely right, Justin. We want to keep it a clean, fair game. You never want to see that as part of the sport.
And obviously, you can get a little frustrated out there. Totally understandable, but always got to keep it under control. Nice, fun, exciting, clean game. That's what we all want to see.
Going to be a 4th and 6 for the Tomahawks. Schmidt to punt it away once again. Schmidt with the boot. Hits around the 45-yard line. Picked up by Dominic Tagliaferro for getting forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And back to that rivalry real quick. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of these athletes play against each other from a very young age. If you have some football players or some basketball players that start playing the sport at 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, they're continuing to compete against each other up until reaching this point. So you see that rivalry last for a very long time.
It's almost like a sibling rivalry when you go back that far, which can certainly get heated, I can imagine.
It certainly can. Bulldogs offense back on the field, taking over from their own 45-yard line. Black's pass is up across the middle, and that is Luke Soden still going. Gonna take it all the way. Huge block there by Ledger Russell.
Black's pass complete to Soden.
Connor Dunn, last man to beat,
Touchdown,
takes that
Bulldogs.
block as Soden takes it all the way for the touchdown. Quite a day here by Soden. 3 total touchdowns so far, 2 being offensively, the third coming of that pick 6 earlier on. Another quick drive and touchdown for the Bulldogs. Take another look at it here. Such poise by Black in the pocket. You see Connor Dunn coming up.
Shifts around.
And takes that block.
Man.
Day trying to make a last-ditch effort inside the 5-yard line, but it is not enough as Soden is able to take it all the way. Tomahawk's going to be in a 28-point deficit pending this extra point, and it doinks and
And
through.
the point after attempt by Soden is good.
Bulldogs lead 28-0.
It's a lucky doink off that pole.
Tough spot here for the Tomahawks. We have seen in the past from their offense that once they are able to get things rolling, they stay fairly efficient, but it's just a matter of getting some sort of momentum started.
And Rob, there's a lot of great players on this team, but when you're missing Garen Brown from that whole puzzle, it totally changes the complexion of this game.
Absolutely, and it even changes the way that Coach Carl Bunis and Coach Jordan Miranda, are able to kind of strategize their offense because so much of their play calling centers around Brown, and so now you take him out of that equation, and it makes their offensive strategy have to change on the spot to try to capitalize on some of those other offensive weapons that they have on the field.
Soden will kick off for the Bulldogs.
Soden back to kick. That is DiPetrantonio on the return. Nice little return for the Tomahawks there, able to bring it out to the 25-yard line.
DiPetrantonio on the return. Pickup of about 17 yards on the play. Tomahawks will start from their 26-yard line.
Tomahawks with 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Desperately need some points on the board. Little bit of confusion in the huddle. A huddle, certainly something we don't see very often from the Tomahawks offense. Typically a no huddle, hurry up style offense where they receive a signal from the sideline. And that was Shea Egan at quarterback. Hands the ball off to Almonte. Unable to find much room. Pickup of maybe
Almonte,
a yard.
the ball carrier. Gain of a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 Tomahawks.
Now we see that spread offense once again. No huddle offense. Shea Egan drops back to pass. Completes it to Ozog. Joward looks like he's getting checked out on the sideline by the training staff. Another very impactful injury for the Tomahawks. Again, we hope it's not anything serious. But Shea Egan in command of this Tomahawks offense. And what a situation to have to come into. Tight trips off to the left side for the Tomahawks. Shea Egan drops back, feels that pressure from the Bulldogs, and he will be buried.
Absolutely buried.
That was Jake Sheff leading the attack in the backfield.
Egan brought down in the backfield by Shelf
And yet
company.
another quick 3 and
Fourth down,
out for the Tomahawks as they line up to punt it away. Not sure what happened. He was out of frame, but it looks like Schmidt had a little bit of trouble with the snap, but he was able to punt it away. Short punt, however, as the Bulldogs will take over in Tomahawk territory on the 49-yard line.
It was a short punt, Rob, but, you know, it took a long time to get it off, so I'm sure they're actually probably pretty happy with that outcome, all things considered.
Certainly could have been far more
safety-esque. By the way, he was pretty close to that back line.
Certainly was, and that's something, that exact scenario we saw play out for the Tomahawks when they traveled and took on BG. Schmidt being so tall, standing at a 6'6", so it's hard to get a snap over his head, but somehow they are able to do so from time to time. But that time, Schmidt able to get it out. Black hands it off.
Not much there.
That was Ledger Russell. Gonna lose 2 yards.
On a lighter note, we do have Dawn Witz-Legay. She says, "Go Tomahawks." Kristen Harrison, she said she's watching from home and cheering on the Tomahawks with a little blue heart emoji. And we got Eric and Missy Kale watching from, get this, Alaska.
Wow.
Yes. I've always wanted to visit Alaska.
As have I.
So maybe if Eric and Missy have an extra room, if I'm ever out that way, maybe I could crash on the couch. I don't eat too much. Bring my own blanket.
5-man front for the Tomahawks. They send 4. Black back to pass. Ball is tipped, and it falls incomplete.
And we do want to shout you out, so if you want to visit the Merrimack TV Facebook page, check it out. Leave a comment. We'll shout you out. Merrimack TV actually wants to shout out Kyle McLean. Kyle works for the town of Merrimack, and he does an absolutely stellar job for the town. So shout out to you, Kyle. Always good to see you working hard around here. Go Tomahawks.
And I do have a little bit of a correction for you, Justin. It is Kirsten Harrison.
Kirsten. Oh, yep. I got to get my reading glasses on here.
But thank you for the shout out, Kirsten Harrison. We love having you watching and joining us here on Merrimack TV.
Yep, sorry about that, Kirsten. Oh, you Coke.
Black drops back to pass, fakes the screen, and throws it deep. Wow, what a catch. That was Dominic Tagliaferro. It looks like they are going to say he was in bounds. Huge pickup for the Bulldogs.
Black's pass complete to Tagliaferro.
Gorgeous pass by Black there. In the breadbasket, right where it needed to be for Tagliaferro to ring it in on the sideline.
Gain of 31 on the play.
Take another look at that throw. Pump fakes that tunnel screen, sends it deep, quite a few yards in the air,
Whoa.
right in the hands of Tagliaferro. So impressive by Black there. That's something that you see at the Division I college level, those types of throws. Bulldogs keep the momentum rolling. Handoff is to Helton. Only able to pick up a couple yards.
Helton, the ball carrier. Brought down by Stevens and company. Gain of a yard on the play. 2nd and 9, Bulldogs.
Bulldogs back on offense. Black with the keeper. Facing a lot of pressure. That's Sadia leading the Crusade.
Black on the quarterback keeper.
See a little bit more of that chippiness here as Black's helmet got knocked off at the end of the play. Going to be a 3rd and short for the Bulldogs. Black does have to leave the field for a play because his helmet came off.
loss of 3 on the
Excuse
play.
me, that was a loss of 3. It is not a 3rd and 3. It is a 3rd and 12 or 13. I did not see the other stick.
Third and 12, Bulldogs.
Trips out to the left side. Helton in motion. Going to be a screen out to the left side to Helton, who's able to find some room. Sadia and Shea Egan able to prevent the touchdown there. But Helton able to bring the ball down to the Tomahawks' 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Gain of 17 on
Bulldogs
the play.
still able to
First
get the
and
first
goal.
down despite Black not being
Bulldogs
on
from
the field.
Tomahawk 5.
Danny Black now back in the game for the Bulldogs. Trips out to the, a twin set. Hand off up the middle to Alex Grudenkis, who is able to take it in for the touchdown. We see Bennett Matthews come in motion, seal that edge for the Bulldogs.
Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Just sort of tumbles in there. Rob, I got John Blades on Facebook. He says, great job. He's probably referencing us because we're doing such a great job. You know, it's just my guess.
Always holding it down here on Merrimack TV.
Eric and Missy out in California, they said, we're more than welcome. They got plenty of room, plenty of halibut and salmon, and moose to go around. So, Eric and Missy, we really appreciate that.
Was it California or was it Alaska?
Oh, it was Alaska. Did I say California?
I believe you
So
did.
their
say
last
California.
name is Cail, C-A-I-L. I'm probably getting a little mixed up here. I can't read Kirsten, I can't read Cail, and then also say it's Alaska out there. On a different note, Lori Hodson said, we are here, assuming at the field, listening to the band. She's got a bunch of music emojis and watching the game, football emoji. Strong emoji game there, Lori. Thank you so much. If you want to get a shout out, just check out the Merrimack TV Facebook page. Let us know who you're rooting for. Maybe what you're snacking on. Give a little something.
DB Trantonio and Dave back to receive for the Tomahawks.
And of course, you can see our new banner there. You can download the app, watch live, catch the replay. Merrimack TV app. If you're enjoying the game, always check out MHS Sports Action on all new Merrimack TV app on your Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, on iPhone, on Android. You'll discover hundreds of programs from Merrimack TV, meeting coverage, local news, community shows, school events, and so much more. Just simply download Merrimack TV wherever you can get apps. You can watch the games live or previously recorded games on demand. This is Merrimack TV, your community, your voice. Little squib kick for a kickoff here.
It does roll out of bounds, and we see the flag come out.
Zeldin's kickoff careens out of bounds.
Tomahawks will take over. Does not look as though they will go for the re-kick. Bulldogs with a little bit of celebration early as they're up 35-0. Given the 35-point lead, this does go to a running clock.
Got Karen Tibbetts-Sles on the line as well. Might recognize that last name. She says, we are watching from Hampton Beach. The beautiful Hampton Beach. Karen Tibbetts-Sles, my stepmom. Watching, assumingly, with my dad out there at Hampton. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always supporting me. Hope you're enjoying the commentary.
Trips out to the left side for the Tomahawks. Egan's pass is complete to Dunn. Dunn able to pick up 7 before getting pushed out of bounds.
Ooh, it really looked like he got bonked there.
That might be or 6 yards. Still might be the largest pickup offensively for the Tomahawks so far in this game. And as I had mentioned, it is a running clock And those who are curious, it does abide by the TIPS rule. TIPS being an acronym for timeouts, injuries, penalties, or scoring plays. Outside of those four scenarios, the clock does continue to run.
And that's because they've reached that 35-point threshold?
Correct.
It has to be a 35-point deficit?
Yes, it is a 35-point deficit regardless of what the score is. Now, if the Tomahawks score on this drive, the running clock will stop.
No gain on the play.
And no 2-minute warning here in high school football. Is that correct?
Correct. That is an official's timeout that we see here, though. Looks like there was a bit of an equipment issue for Ozog. As the clock continues to run. Does not look like Majower is going to come back into this game either. And Shea Egan's pass is intercepted. That is Bennett Matthews, who still has not brought down.
And
Takes it all the way.
To the house.
Pass intercepted for Matthews, who returns for a
And that's
Bulldog
2 pick
touchdown.
sixes in this game so far for the Bulldogs. Everything going in the way of Bedford in this one. Take another look at it here. Egan's pass just jumped, very well read by Bennett Matthews. Great defense, able to catch some blockers, show off a couple of moves and spin his way into the end zone as the Bulldogs take a 42-point lead pending this extra point here. Soden's kick is up, and it is no good. I jinxed it.
And Soden's point after attempt
So
is
the
no
score
good.
will stay at 41-0 with just over a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Very tough outing so far in this one for the Tomahawks.
All right, I got Ashley here on Facebook. She's really put me in a test here with her last name. I'm going to say Ashley Fechtow. See how close I am with that. Cheering on the Bulldogs from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you so much, Ashley. And we got Sam Dodge. Says, watching from the couch, number 56. Jake Ben for Bedford is a hashtag dog. So thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ashley. I'd like to also mention Karen Tibbett-Slez, who recently commented. She had a birthday yesterday, so here she had quite the happy birthday. Wasn't able to join her yesterday. A little bit of a trek to get out to Hampton Beach, fairly close by, but I am, as you can tell, a very busy man.
Day and DP Trantonio back to receive for the
Speaking
Tomahawks.
of birthdays, by the way,
Soden
as
will
we
kick off for the
previously
Bulldogs.
mentioned, I am a former Tomahawk myself, and my very last game as a Tomahawk was against the Bulldogs on my birthday.
Did you have a special birthday gift that day of a win, or?
Yes, retirement.
Oh, okay, I see. But did you get the W is what I'm asking.
We did not, unfortunately.
I see.
Was a semifinal playoff game in 2019. Day with the return, not able to bring it out to the 20-yard
Day on
line,
the
gets
return.
tackled
Brought
by
down by Westcott.
Dustin Westcott at about the 17-yard line.
Ooh, semifinal game, huh? Man, that must have been a heartbreaker.
Certainly was.
And we won't ruminate on it too
Return
much,
of about
Rob. It's
12
just
yards.
I just
Tomahawks
like
will
these
set
little
from
fun
their
facts here.
20-yard line.
I didn't realize that.
Certainly fun little tidbits.
If you want to find out any more fun tidbits about Merrimack TV, you can always email myself, Justin Slez, or the Media Services Coordinator, Nicholas LaValle, at Merrimack TV, at merrimacknh.gov. You can stop by the studio. Just let us know if you want to pop in. We can be here. We'll show you around. We got the community studio. We record all kinds of meetings up here. We have all kinds of equipment. If you are a Merrimack resident, you can come take that equipment out free of charge. All we ask is that you provide us with something to put on Merrimack TV. So once again, email merrimacktv at merrimacknh.gov. It's Merrimack TV, your community, your voice. Just teeing it up here.
Shea's pass is complete to Almonte, who takes it off to the left side. Able to pick up 3 before being tackled out of
Egan's
bounds.
pass complete to Almonte.
And it looks like they're exchanging some words out there. I'm going to
Taken out of bounds
assume
by
words of
Clark.
encouragement.
Seemed certainly like a positive engagement by the two athletes on the field.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 Tomahawks.
Perhaps discussing what they will be dressing as for Halloween this coming Tuesday. Shea hands the ball off to Connor Dunn, who takes it off to the right side. Not able to find a hole, and he is swallowed up by a swarm of Bulldogs. Or a pack of Bulldogs, excuse me.
Ooh, there we go. Some good
Pack.
vernacular right there. I got Andrew Fenn over at Bedford Community TV. Said he's got a slight correction. He said for us, he says running time is locked in once it happens, and I'm not sure when it's happening. But thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Colleen and Bill over at Bedford Community Television. Be catching this game on Merrimack TV. Catch it on Bedford Community Television. Catch it on 105.1 FM in Bedford.
A little bit of trickery there for the Tomahawks. Centrella takes the handoff and then looks to pass it deep to Day, but it falls just incomplete. Centrella actually was a quarterback his freshman year, so not surprised that it was a dot of a throw. Day just unable to bring it in. Brings up another 4th down for the Tomahawks as we draw near to halftime here in this lopsided matchup. Schmidt's boot is up and gone. Looks like it was muffed, but the Bulldogs able to bring it in. That was Nate Clark jumping on it.
Bulldogs able to recover the punt.
Would expect the Bulldogs to just take a knee here and take it into the half.
Bulldogs will start from their 44-yard line.
Only a couple of seconds left to go. They only need to drop the knee once. High snap, but the Bulldogs will in fact take a knee and send this game into halftime. Bulldogs lead the Tomahawks 41-0 in the final game of the regular season here in Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Bulldogs 41, Tomahawks.
Thank you for joining us here on Merrimack TV. We will be broadcasting the band's performance during the halftime show. Certainly one of my favorite parts of the games.
There's another shot of our new banners. We're proud to be hanging those up tonight. Some new banners we've been talking about for, I think, what feels like years at this point. We finally got some banners printed out now that we have the Merrimack TV app. So there it is. A little bit of a reconstruction on that logo, too. Instead of the old CRTV look, it's a circle, kind of like those streamlined apps you see so often. So you can download that app anywhere you can get apps, on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick. You can get them on your Apple iPhone via iOS. You can get them on your Android phone. You can check that out. It's free. Got all kinds of meeting coverage, local news, community shows, school events, so much more. Just download that Merrimack TV app. Take us with you wherever you go. Whether you're in Alaska eating salmon or in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Merrimack TV is there with you. As the band's getting ready to take the field, band director Brendan McWalter, assisted by R.J. Beck. And this Merrimack Marching Band, certainly a huge part of the Friday Night Lights performances. Always look forward to it. We've had quite a few renditions of Led Zeppelin medleys over the years. Not sure what they're going to have queued up for us tonight.
The band is under the direction of Brendan McWalter.
Sounds like the
and assisted
PA
by
announcer
RJ
just said
Bennett.
it is selections
The color guide
from
instructor is
Wicked.
Danny Dunn. Jen Noseworthy instructs the drum line. The band is
Seems
led on the
perfect
field by
timing
drum
for the
majors
end of
Jenny
October here,
Epstein
doesn't it?
And Aaron Murray. Drumline captains are Katie Inamorati and Chase Rowe. Color guard captains are Ella Guzman and Rebecca Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
the Merrimack High School Marching Band.
We will catch you after the performance. Enjoy. And another stellar performance by the Merrimack Marching Band. Always fantastic to hear them as you see them coming off the field. Also a shout out to the color guard. Fantastic job by them. Shout out to the cheerleaders as well. Always great to see kids doing the extracurricular activities. These student athletes and extracurricular enjoyers, if you will. They're getting stuff done in the classroom and out of the classroom. Always super impressive. Rob, we get some highlights that I'm going to try and queue up for us here to look at. It's a very, as you might imagine, a very heavy Bedford highlight reel here, but we'll just sort of flip through them and have a look at them. And I'm going to pull one up right now. We'll have a look at the first touchdown here by Soden.
This one coming with just 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Blacks able to complete the pass to Soden for the touchdown. Day unable to keep him out of the end zone. That was the first strike for the Bulldogs, and the scoring continues on as this one happens with 2.5 left in the first. Black rolls out to the left side, completes the pass. That one to Sheridan, who's able to take it 40 yards down the sideline. His second big play of the game, but certainly not his last, as the Bulldogs jump out to a 14-point lead. Now we see Majower here was trying to get things going on offense for the Tomahawks. Not a lot. A 6-man rush coming in the face, throws the ball away, and it just falls into the hands of Soden, who's able to waltz it back into the end zone, extending that Bulldogs lead even further. A little bit of celebrating in the end zone there for the Bulldogs. Now we go to about 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Blacks pass complete to Soden. Look at that block there. That one by Ledger Russell sets up another touchdown for the Bulldogs, extending that lead even further. Now we jump ahead a little bit of life from the Tomahawks as they show some trickery. Centrella trying to go for the double pass, hits Day in the hands, but it is well defended there by Landon Elsmore, and Day is unable to bring it in. Just a couple of looks of some big plays in the first half. Now we'll bring you a couple of scores from around the league. More playoff implications and such going on in other games. So first we have Londonderry versus Salem. Londonderry leads 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. Next up we have Spalding leading Winnicott 14-6, also at the end of the first quarter. Dover leads Exeter 7-3, also at the end of the first quarter. And BG is leading South 23-14 at the half. So a couple of close one-score games, unlike the one we are seeing here, but all others so far that we have reported within one score. Second half about to get underway. Have to expect we'll see some young guys coming out on the field for both teams.
Have them get a little experience here the end of the regular season, as it's looking like Bedford is absolutely running away with this one.
Perhaps a mix into of some seniors for the Tomahawks, as unless they mount a very, very difficult comeback in this game, falling short and losing this one would be the end of the Tomahawk season. They would be knocked out of the playoffs, so would expect to see Coach Jackson to play some seniors, as it would be the last game of their Tomahawk career.
And crazier things have happened, Rob. You know, we saw a few pretty good opportunities by the Tomahawks that just sort of slipped through the cracks. I know towards the beginning of the first quarter, that was that muffed punt that the Tomahawks came up with, but they weren't able to turn it into any points, unfortunately. And I believe there was another muff punt as well, although I don't think they turned it over in that instance.
Yeah, the second punt by Merrimack did ricochet off of a Bulldog, but the Bedford was able to recover it. So technically, yes, another muffed punt, but not turned over that time.
But they'll certainly have to take some of those opportunities that come their way and turn them into points if they are going to try and breathe any life into a possible playoff run here.
There is that age-old saying that you hear of, if they can score 41 points in the half, why can't we? So we'll see if the Tomahawks are able to do that. Gonna be a difficult task, though, as we see Shea Egan getting his shoulder warm on the sideline. We expect him to stay at the quarterback position for the remainder of the game, Given Majower's injury as well as Garen Brown, we do not expect to see him in the remainder of this game. Very sad and unfortunate to see that that's how potentially their careers as Tomahawks come to an end.
Yeah, pretty big bummer, I would say. If you're out there watching tonight and you want to get a shout out, you can check out Merrimack TV's Facebook page. Leave us a comment on our most recent post about this game, and we'll give you a shout out during the game here. Let us know who you're rooting for, how you're watching, where you're watching from. Really, what are you snacking on? I keep asking about snacks here, and I got a bread emoji here from Sam, but other than that, I don't know what anyone's eating out there. So if you have any hashtag show us your snack stuff to report, drop us a line on the Merrimack TV Facebook page. We'd love to give you a shout out.
And you know what? It's Halloween. Tell us what your favorite Halloween candy is or what your costume's gonna be.
Yes, please. And of course, the Wicked themed, Wicked Good halftime show by the marching band. So keeping with the theme here.
Justin, what's your Halloween costume?
I haven't quite decided yet this year. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to go with. I actually have my dad and stepmom. It sounds like they're still watching, so I have kind of a surprise costume if we all end up going out trick-or-treating with the kiddos on Tuesday night. So I don't want to ruin any surprises there.
Fair enough.
Why, do you have something up your sleeve? What do you got going on?
I got a couple things up my sleeve. I got perhaps a Bud of the Elf bringing Christmas a little bit early.
All right, that's pretty good.
You know what? I saw this online. I thought it was kind of genius, actually. A person dressed up as Donatello.
I love that.
Now, wait. You might think, well, two Donatellos could come to mind. There's the Ninja Turtle, and then there's the Renaissance Painter.
Of course, yes, of course. The
50
Renaissance Painter definitely came to mind first, Rob.
Of course, but it was like a 50-50 split down the middle, half Ninja Turtle, half Painter type situation.
Please tell me he's got it split down the middle.
Oh, absolutely.
Unreal. I love the creativity. I love to see stuff like that.
Certainly, and the second half is underway. As a reminder, we do have the running clock.
Williams on the return.
And that does abide by the TIPS regulation. That stands for timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scoring plays. So outside of those four parameters, the clock will continue to run.
Very cool. Of course, want to thank the officiating team down there as well. They do a great job, as do all the officiating team, all the officiants. That's more of a marriage thing. Am I correct? So all the refs out there, they're NHIAA folks. If you're out there and you're thinking maybe I want to ref, it doesn't have to be football, soccer, basketball, anything. They're always looking for referees, officiators. Help me out here, Rob. Officiators. What am I missing here?
Officials.
Officials. Thank you so much. I obviously haven't had my brain snacks tonight, so I won't be commenting on the Merrimack TV Facebook page about what I'm eating. But check out the NHIAA website if you have any interest in that at all. They are always looking for officials. They're quite sparse on that end, so we thank them very much, and we thank you for considering it. NHIAA.org.
And it does appear that the starters for the Bulldogs Knights are over, as that is Jack May in at running back. There is a fumble. And that is number 28, Alec Corveo for the Bulldogs, or Corvu. There is a flag down, however.
Lost the ball, recovered the ball.
Looks like that run will come back.
But we have an offsides penalty assessed against the Bulldogs.
Looks like an offensive lineman was lined up in the neutral zone. Couple of the starters still in for the Tomahawks. We still see Day, Ozog, Sadia. Rizzoe. Letting a lot of their
Second and
captains and
14
seniors
for the Bulldogs.
get some playing time. And speaking with Coach Jackson earlier this week, he did mention that the future looks bright for the Tomahawks. They have a very good mix of seniors, but also younger guys, juniors and sophomores that are getting some decent playing time and getting some valuable experience leading into next season. Huge pickup there.
May's pass complete to Westcott.
That was Westcott
Brought
on
down by
the
Egan.
catch. Gonna bring up a first down for the Bulldogs. The biggest returner for the Tomahawks that comes to mind is Sahil Majower, just a junior. Would expect he would be at the helm for the Tomahawks once again next season.
Gain of 23 on that play. 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the 39.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 39-yard line. Little bit of a counter play there, but the handoff goes to Alec Coraview.
Let's take a look at that last pass.
Coraview on the carry.
Rolls
Goes a
out
long,
to the right
long
side.
way for
Brought
that.
down by Smith.
And that was
No
Shea
gain on the play.
Egan
2nd and 10
on the
Bulldogs.
defense.
Nice catch.
Showing some positives for the Bulldogs' future as well. That is Jack May in at quarterback, who is a junior. With Danny Black graduating this season, you would expect that May would be the one taking over coming into next year. So perhaps a bit of a preview for the Bulldogs of what to expect next season. As May rolls out to the right side, a little bit of a stiff arm before he's brought down by Almonte.
About 6 yards there by the looks of it. Nice run.
May on
Mobile
the quarterback
QB's always
keeper.
good.
Pushed out of bounds by Almonte.
May certainly perhaps less experienced than Black, but still showing a ton
Gain
of
of
confidence
6
in the
on the play.
pocket. Not afraid to take
3rd
it on a
and
run
4
himself.
Bulldogs.
Coraview in the pistol. May rolls out to the right side. Looks like it was a bit of a speed option, but May decides to keep it himself once again. And is able to pick up the first
May
down
on the
for the
carry.
Bulldogs.
That Bulldog
Quarterback
sideline
gain
is
of
lit up
7
right now on that
play.
one.
Yeah, Bedford sideline getting excited,
First
getting
down
into it.
Bulldogs.
See a lot of the older
Ball on the
guys
Tomahawk
that are
47.
done for the night cheering on some of the younger guys. Something the Bulldogs are certainly used to this season. They have pitched 4 shutouts. This could quite possibly be the 5th out of their 9 games in the regular season.
Wow.
Very impressive defensively.
Incredible.
Only giving up an average of 3.3 points per game this season.
That is, I almost don't believe that, but after watching this performance tonight, I do believe it. So, unreal job by the Bedford Bulldogs for sure.
And the pitch from May goes out to Coraview, but it looks like
Coraview on
it
the
is going to
pitch
come
and
back
carry.
another penalty flag on the ground.
Brought down by 9.
It does go against the Bulldogs, and it will back them up. Speaking of penalties, the Tomahawks yet to commit a penalty so
And we have a
far in this
holding
game.
penalty assessed against the Bulldogs.
Rather impressive considering in previous games, penalties typically are the folly of the Tomahawks.
Yes, a few come to mind this season for sure. It's great to see them have it cleaned up tonight. It's always good to see that.
And in games like this, you obviously the score is not uplifting by any means, but you do want to find as many positives as you can, and that quite possibly being the biggest one so far.
Absolutely.
The other being, coming into this game, you expected this game to be controlled by Brody Helton, but he was probably the one factor that the Tomahawks were able to contain the most. But unfortunately, the Bedford Bulldogs, unfortunately for the Tomahawks, the Bulldogs offense is certainly not one-dimensional, and where one area may be shut down, they can shine everywhere else. Great performances by Sheridan as well as Soden.
Yeah, just too many great options for Bedford on that offense, for sure.
Russell, the ball carrier.
Now we see some younger guys on the field
Gain
for the
of 7 on the
Tomahawks
play.
as well.
Stop me if you've heard this one before, Rob, but just so you know, this summer, Merrimack TV won a national award from the Alliance for Community Media. An episode of our Merrimack Moment series was recognized as the best web-based program on community television in the country. This award displays Merrimack TV's commitment to community media, fostering community partnerships, and shining a spotlight on the people that make Merrimack a wonderful place to live. Thank you so much for supporting Merrimack TV.
That carry by
Russell,
Ledger
ball
Russell.
carrier.
Off to the right side,
Brought
able to
down
pick
by
up
White.
about 6 or 7. Gonna be 3rd and
Gain
3
of
for the
7 on the play.
Bulldogs.
3rd and 3 for the Bulldogs.
Russell making his way off the field. May's handoff is to Lennox Williams. There is a flag down.
Williams, the ball
That-
carrier.
Is it down? It
Down
looked like it
by
might have been inadvertent, although
Sea
maybe
Blue
not.
jerseys.
Just a bit of a casual toss from the official.
Okay, I thought
Flag
it looked
on
like
the
it just
play.
fell out of his pocket.
It's going to be a hold
Holding
against the
against
Bulldogs.
Bedford.
Going to negate the run once again.
Such a casual toss.
Very casual. Back him up 10 yards from the spot. Replay 3rd down.
You know, Rob, stop me if you've heard this one before. If you're enjoying tonight's game, check out more MHS sports action on the all-new Merrimack TV app on your Roku, Apple
Bring
TV,
up
Amazon
3rd
Fire
and
Stick,
5 for the
or on
Bulldogs.
iPhone, iOS, and Android. It's free. It's great. Take Merrimack TV wherever you go.
Screen pass out to the left side. That was complete to Corview,
Mays
but it
pass
falls
complete.
incomplete.
To Corvo.
Like there might have been some sort of ghost maybe
Excuse me, he did
hunched
catch,
over on the field there, tripped over it a little bit.
did catch the
No
pass,
gain
but he
on the play.
slipped.
4th
Excuse me, I
down,
misspoke.
Bulldogs.
Some shout outs to some of the younger guys on the field for the Tomahawks. We see
They are at quite the angle right now. It's hard.
yeah,
it's hard to
it's
see
difficult
those
to
numbers,
see some
isn't
numbers. Do see number 36, Aiden McKenzie in at linebacker. Sean Gendron, the other middle linebacker. May's handoff goes to Dylan Soden. We've heard the name Soden a lot tonight on the Bedford side, but mostly the other Soden seems to be we have
Williams, the ball
brothers on our hands. That being number 13, Luke Soden, and number 23,
Pushed out of bounds by Krieger.
Dylan Soden. I believe that
Gain of
carry
8
was
on that
actually
play.
by
1st and
Lennox
10
Williams,
Bulldogs from the
however.
Tomahawk 35.
Was enough for a first down for the Bulldogs, however, so it will be 1st and 10 from the Tomahawks' 35-yard line. May's pass does hit the
May's
hands
pass intended
of
for Corvo.
Corvu,
Ball's
but he's
incomplete.
unable to bring it in. Ball's incomplete, going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 Bulldogs.
I do want to thank you for watching tonight, whether you're watching in Merrimack via Comcast Channel 8 or the HD Channel 1072 on MerrimackTV.com or on our new Merrimack TV app. You might also be watching in Bedford as well. Bedford Community Television is also broadcasting this game, so thank you to them. And you'll also find that on 105.1 FM WBNH, Bedford Radio. So thank you to our friends over at Bedford Community Television. We have a great relationship with them. We always try to expand our horizons here at Merrimack TV with all sorts of different community television stations. Always trying to host other games that might be shown in other communities as well. But thank you to Bedford tonight.
42 the ball carrier
Andrew
for the
Fenn,
Bulldogs.
Colleen Richardson, and Bill Jennings, and the rest.
Gain of 5 on the play.
And however you're watching, you can always let us know. We'll give you a shout out. Head over to the Merrimack TV Facebook page. Leave us a
And at
comment.
the end of the 3rd quarter,
Let us know where you're watching
41,
from, how you're
Tomahawks
watching.
0.
What you're snacking on, please. What are you snacking on? What are you passing out for candy? What are you wearing for a costume this year? It's the spooky season, so let's get into it, folks. We got 12 minutes left here in regulation. We got some costumes down there on the field. Got the onesies. The Merrimack cheer squad.
Whoa there.
We got their tiger, a couple cows.
A monkey,
Maybe
it looks
is it
like.
a Dalmatian, maybe, or
A little chant-along song from the Tomahawk Band.
And that cheer squad, they are absolute animals out there tonight. So shout out to them. Doing a great job. Shout out to our student athletes.
Ball on the Tomahawk 30-yard line.
Shout out to the marching band. Shout out to the color guard.
And we see Centrella on the Tomahawk sideline, possibly getting warmed up to go in at quarterback for the Tomahawks. I mentioned previously that during his freshman season, he was the freshman quarterback, but transitioned to the slot receiver role. Maybe after that trickery double pass, might be putting him in to relive his freshman days in what seems to be his final game. Also worth mentioning that this Bulldogs drive, though it is a running clock, has stretched the entire length of the 3rd quarter and now into the 4th.
This one drive has been the whole 3rd quarter.
This one drive covered the entire 3rd quarter.
This must be a running clock situation.
May's pass out to the left side. It is complete to Thomas Braga.
May's pass complete to Braga.
Braga, excuse me.
Brought
Taking
by
down my
Bedford.
number 17. Don't have my... Do I have my list
That
here?
is Michael Gendron for the Tomahawks. Future does look bright for both of these teams. This has been a very competitive drive so far. Bedford just inching their way up the field, but the Tomahawks not giving up anything big. May drops back to pass. It is a tunnel screen, which is complete to Eli Nasser, but he loses his footing, not able to do much after catching the pass.
Yeah, just a couple yards on that one.
Aiden McKenzie there ready to make the tackle, but the slippery ground does the job for him.
Gain of 2
Bulldogs
on the
now
play.
going
3rd
into
and
the
1
huddle.
for the Bulldogs.
Haven't seen much of a huddle from either team so far in this game. Mostly plays are called at the line. Very common practice you see now in a lot of high school programs. Two backs next to May. The handoff goes to Alec Koravu, who's able to get the edge, but is knocked out of bounds at about the 4-yard line.
Koravu, the ball carrier.
Looks like there might
Gain
have been a
9 on the
tomahawk a
play.
little shooken up
First
after
and
that
goal,
play.
Bulldogs from the tomahawk 4-yard line.
And just creeping right down the field here, the Bedford Bulldogs knocking on the door.
A little bit of confusion by the Tomahawks defense. Perhaps a bit of that inexperience showing a little bit here and there, but they do get set in time. A little bit of a high snap. May decides to keep it himself and take it up the middle for the touchdown.
May, the quarterback keeper.
Great
Touchdown,
read by
Bulldogs.
May there. This is a read option style play, watching the defensive end or corner coming crashing down, so he decides to pull it and keep it himself up the middle, which is wide open. Takes it in for the touchdown, extending the Bulldogs' lead even further.
"47 big ones right now, barring the field goal, of course."
The first one was a no-go, or the last one was a no-go, so we'll see where this one's at. It's up, and this one does make it
And the
through.
point after attempt by
Tack
number
that extra
42
point
is
on,
good.
making it a 48-0 game. Certainly see a lot of excitement by the Bulldogs.
And you're going to hear a lot of excitement from me here because I got someone on Facebook finally is letting me know what they've been snacking on tonight. And wouldn't you know it, it's my dad, Brian Slez, sometimes known as Brybo or the Bo, but in this holiday season or Halloween season, go by the Brybo, if you will. Said, just wanted to let you know we had some buffalo wings before halftime. Now we're enjoying some roast sliced sirloin with horseradish sauce and Bermuda onion on a grilled bulky roll. Kudos to the commentators. Great job, guys. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate that. Everything sounds delicious. Save me a bite of that sandwich.
Dad's certainly making me hungry, I'll tell you that
Right?
much.
It sounds pretty good. I do enjoy good horseradish sauce.
Indeed. Another look here at the Merrimack band. Doing such an excellent job. Love having that extra microphone out there so we can get a better listen. See some students in the stands for the Tomahawks as well.
Absolutely pounding that Powerade. He's going to be juiced up for the night.
And I actually happen to know that that is Simon Yasovich.
Is he a big Powerade fan?
I guess so.
Oh, and here we go.
Bulldogs kick off is still pretty far back. Almonte fields it, looking for some space, but he's not going to find much. Looks like his forward progress will bring up to about the 25-yard line. They'll give him even more. The 28-yard line, or 29 with his forward progress.
Return of about 19 yards. Tomahawks will start from their 29.
And it is still Shea Egan at quarterback. Centrella out to the left side. Day on the right side. Ozog in the slot, as well as Connor Dunn. Still looking for that trickery. Not able to get the Bulldogs to jump. The Bulldogs have committed quite a few penalties, but that has not been one of them. Low snap. Egan hands it off to Thornton, who's met in the backfield by a pack of Bulldogs.
About 5 of them by the looks of it.
Thornton on the carry.
Looks like that pack was led by,
Gain of a yard on the play.
ooh, excuse me for the pronunciation on this one,
2nd and 9
Botios
Tomahawks.
Papanichulio? Papanicolau? I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that. I did give it my best effort.
I will accept the apologies on number 67's behalf.
Egan's pass is complete to Connor Dunn on the left side. Able to pick up quite a few yards.
Egan's pass complete to Dunn.
Take another look at it. Egan looks off. Well thrown
Brought down
ball.
by Poltronieri.
Dunn shakes the first tackle, but is brought down by the second. And now Dunn seems to be hobbling off the field a little bit.
Gain of 8 on the play.
Looks
3rd
like
and
some
2
sort of lower
Tomahawks.
body injury. Twin set for the Tomahawks. Almonte in the pistol. Egan fumbles the snap a little bit, but is able to reel it in and make the handoff to Almonte.
Almonte, the ball carrier.
We see that chippiness continuing a little bit here. Obviously, the frustration mounting for the Tomahawks.
It's certainly frustrating, especially with some of this being the last regular
Gain
season
of 2
football
on the
game they're going to play
First
here.
down, Tomahawks, ball on the 40-yard line.
For any of the seniors, this is their final game. Unless the Tomahawks can put up 48 points in just over 5 minutes.
With a running clock, that would certainly be, I would eat my hat.
I would join in that.
That would certainly be impressive. Certainly a very tough hill to climb there, but let's see what they got dialed up.
Tight twins, looks like some deep routes. Gonna dump it off to Ozog on the right side.
Nice.
Able to pick up the
Egan's
first
pass
down.
complete to Ozog.
Seeming
Gain
to
of
be the
10
most
on the play.
offensive
Good enough for a
momentum that the
Tomahawk.
Tomahawks have had so far in this game. Looks like maybe we got a timeout as the Tomahawks are jogging off to their sideline.
Timeout, Merrimack.
Did get a timeout from the Tomahawks. That does stop the clock as it does fall under the tips.
All right, I got a couple more shout-outs here. We got Gary Smith. He says, shout out to former Merrimack great and newly commissioned chopper pilot, Lieutenant Danny McKillop, as he is deployed to Eastern Europe in support of U.S. forces. Godspeed, Danny. Danny's father was a longtime game announcer, Jack McKillop. Thank you, Gary Smith. Thank you, chopper pilot Lieutenant Danny McKillop and Jack McKillop. We got Charles Peralt as well, watching from Bedford. Great job broadcasting, snacking on nachos, hummus, and wings. Nachos, of course, quite famous and beloved around here at Merrimack TV. Might remember Dave and Ralph speaking highly of nachos. Maybe some nacho debate with Dave and Brian Gagnon. Myself and Nick like to share a nacho every once in a while. We actually picked some nachos up at the concession stand tonight down at the field. They do a great job down there. Looking to volunteer, you can always reach out to any of the sporting booster clubs. They're always looking for hands, always looking for help, always appreciated. There's a lot of volunteering that goes on to make these games happen, and we thank everyone for doing what they do.
And as I predicted, Centrella is in at quarterback. Just took a shot there down the field to Caden Dine, a little overthrown.
Little Rob Stradamus action here.
Rolls out to the left side, seems to slip as he's throwing it. Going to be a little bit long there.
Centrala's pass intended for Krieger.
Centrella perhaps shaking off a bit of the rust. Been a couple of years since he was in at quarterback.
We're closing in on 4 minutes.
As they will put Egan back in the game.
This drive looking, I mean, I know we're closing in on the end of the game here, but this drive is looking pretty good here for the Merrimack Tomahawks. Keeping it rolling. couple good tosses.
Certainly the best drive the Tomahawks have mounted so far in this game.
And I speak too soon as he's gobbled up behind that line of scrimmage by the looks of it.
Denver on the carry.
Bit of a loss for the Tomahawks. Gonna make it a 4th and 13.
Brought down by McLaughlin. Loss of 3 on
You
the
can see
play.
those Bedford Bulldogs just totally
Tomahawks.
amped up right now. About as amped as I was to find out what people are snacking on here for the game. So
The Bulldogs do lock up a bye in the first round of playoffs as well, so perhaps they're excited for a week off next week.
I actually might also be due for a week off.
And I as well. Egan's pass falls incomplete as the Tomahawks turn over on downs, and you would expect the Bulldogs
Egan's pass broken up. Turnover
to
on
just
downs.
take a couple of knees and run the rest of this one out.
Bulldogs
Might
will
see a
start
little
from
bit
the
of
Tomahawk
offense from the
49-yard
Bulldogs
line.
because the younger guys are in, might want to get them a couple of plays, but does look like I got a bit of a look from Coach Zach Matthews pointing to his knee, so that might be a signal of the victory formation.
Telltale sign, the point at the knee. As we wind it down here, we're going to be winding down our fall sports coverage tonight with this final game here for the Tomahawks. I want to thank Brian Gagnon for covering some volleyball with me this season. We had Mark Heimberg and Andrew Clark doing some soccer games. I did fill in some color commentary on a couple of those soccer games. And Rob DeFelice, thank you so much for stepping up in place of Dave and Ralph. I've had an excellent time calling games with you this fairly short season, but it's been excellent. I hope you might consider coming back next year, as I think you've just absolutely done an excellent job. And of course, that first game you commentated, a lot of shout outs to you on Facebook. So thank you so much. Thank you to all our volunteers here at Merrimack TV.
It has
We're
certainly
under
been
2
a
minutes.
pleasure. It has certainly been a pleasure to be calling the games here on Merrimack TV, giving back to my community. And I will say that if I am still here in Merrimack next season, I will certainly be willing to be on the call if you will have me here at Merrimack TV.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Nicholas LaValle, our media services coordinator. He's been doing a great job running the camera down at the field tonight. We did a little bit of a more extensive setup tonight. We got those new banners, as we mentioned, to promote the Merrimack TV app. Check that out if you have a chance. Download it anywhere you can get apps: Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, on your Apple iPhone, on your Android device. Check it out, Merrimack TV. So thanks, Nick. We also set up that extra mic over by the band, so we got a nice crisp sound from the band in the stands. And it has been an absolute pleasure calling the games this fall season. Looking forward to little basketball, wrestling, and hockey come the winter sports season, which is just around the corner. Also happens to be budget season, so I would say winter is probably Merrimack TV's busiest season. You want to find out more about Merrimack TV, you can always email myself or Nicholas at merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. Let us know if you want to swing by the studio. We'd love to show you around, see where we record these meetings, see what we have for a studio space for any Merrimack residents that might want to record a show. Got all kinds of equipment here if you want to take out some equipment, make a show for Merrimack TV.
And the final score tonight, Bulldogs 48, Tomahawks 0.
And what a pleasure it has been calling these games with you, Justin. I don't know, you might have a little Joe Buck in you.
Got a little Joe Buck. Maybe that's what I got going on for Halloween. I'll have
Joe
to check
Buck.
out my Joe Buck costume.
Or a Bob Costas.
What do I just need? Like a headset, right?
A headset and a shirt and tie.
Perfect. Well, you got anything else to add here, Rob, before I shut us down?
Just a very special thank you to all of those who have tuned in and joined us here on the broadcast. Means the world to us here on Merrimack TV, me especially, to just have the community join us and support these student athletes. I know as myself, as someone who was a former student athlete, all of the support that we receive from the town, from the community, means oh so much to us. So thank you for joining us here for this coverage, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll see you guys same time next season.
Yep. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you to Bedford TV tonight. Thank you for all that we're watching. And we'll catch you next time. This is Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.